Alright everybody, so as promised in my week 2 video, I am now going to show you how to set up a tank, right, from scratch. So most people think that it takes no time at all to set up a tank. You just add your water, throw in a few chemicals, and you can add fish right away. No. No. You gotta wait 3 weeks to a month before you can actually add fish to your tank. So you're gonna have an empty tank, a few decorations in it, no fish, maybe plants, before you can actually add stuff that's gonna survive. Alright? And I'm gonna show you how to do that. So, to start, you're gonna need your tank, obviously. You're gonna need a heater, you can see it with a little red light on it back there. You're going to need one that's the proper size for your tank. You're also going to need a filter. Get one that's one size bigger than recommended for your tank. Alright? Depending on the company. If you're going with, let's see here. If you're going with aquarium, get one size bigger. Alright? Because aquarium, yeah, their recommendations suck. But anything else, you should be fine. Just ask the guy at PetSmart and he'll be able to show you. Don't follow their advice on fish, though. No. But I'll talk to you guys about that later. You're also going to need a substrate. So type of gravel or sand. Sand is what I got. I wouldn't go with sand. It's a little more complicated to deal with. To begin with, I'd go with gravel. Alright? You're going to want some decorations. You're going to want a lid with a light on it. Alright? Some people are going to want a background on it. Something fancy. Some people take the background and they actually stick it into the inside of their tank with silicone. Right? That works so long as you stick it completely. So there's no water getting behind it. Otherwise you're going to have bacteria back there, and well, bad bacteria back there, and algae growing, and it's just going to be disgusting. Alright, you're going to want to completely stick it to the back of your tank. That way it's more visible. If you stick it behind the glass, it's got a weird hue to it. It's going to have a weird color, and it's going to be less visible. That's why some people do that. I don't bother. I just have black paint on the back of my tank, which looks pretty nice, actually. And, yeah, that's all the equipment you're going to need for your tank. Some people get a timer for their light, because they don't like turning it off and on all the time. Alright? You're also going to need this. This is a chemical that you're going to need for your tank. It allows you to use tap water. It's going to, basically, it says right on the bottle, it's going to remove chloramine and chlorine. Makes your tap water safe for fish and protects its scales and fins. Alright? And there's different companies you can get that from. And as I said before, it takes quite a while before you can actually get your tank up and running. About 3 weeks to a month. The reasoning is because you have to build up the proper amount of bacteria in your tank. Yes, there is a good bacteria. So, what happens in your tank to make it safe for fish is... Now, how do I explain this? Basically, when fish produce excrement, it turns into ammonia, which is extremely toxic. Alright? And that ammonia turns into nitrite. And then nitrite turns into nitrate. That's what's happening in this tank right now. In both tanks, actually. That's what's allowing the fish to live in there. Really toxic. Not very toxic. Almost not toxic at all, but still somewhat. And I get rid of that by doing water changes. Alright? So, what changes it from ammonia to nitrite and nitrate is bacteria. Alright? So you're going to want to set up a good colony of bacteria in your tank before you can actually add fish. So what I would normally do is take a piece of fruit or something small, maybe half a strawberry, chop it all up, throw it in the tank, and that'll break down, turn into ammonia. And then eventually, maybe in a week, a type of bacteria will form into your water. And it'll start to grow in your water. And that ammonia, it'll eat away at your ammonia, and it'll turn it into nitrite. Alright? And then another type of bacteria will form in your water. It'll turn the nitrite into nitrate. Alright, so you're going to have a spike of ammonia, then a spike of nitrite, and there'll be no ammonia, and then a spike of nitrate, and that'll be nitrite. No nitrite. Alright, once you have a really big spike of nitrate, your tank is ready to go. You can add fish after you do a decent water change. Right? And how you're going to test for this stuff is you're going to need a kit. I have an expensive one. Alright? I have a really fancy one. You're just going to need a $10, $20 kit. Depends on where you live. They're fairly cheap. You can go out and buy one. Any pet store. Alright? But you're going to need to test for all three of these things. And once this spike is done, and this spike is done, and you've done the water change, you're good to go. What also helps with this is going out to PetSmart or whatever, buying a plant. Don't go with fish because that's just cruel, but buy a plant that you're willing to let die and put it in your tank. Maybe 2 of them if you want, because there's bacteria stuck to that plant. Or you can ask them for a bottle of water from one of their tanks, or a couple bottles of water, and pour that into your tank. Alright? You're instantly adding bacteria to your tank. Not much of it, but enough that it'll speed up the process. It'll bring it down to 2 weeks, maybe a week. But if you do that and you don't see a spike within the first 2 weeks, you're safe to put fish in. Alright? But keep an eye on it for the first month. Alright? I very rarely ever test my water. I do it maybe every 2-3 weeks because I'm not worried about it. Because I have a perfect balance of bacteria and everything in there. So it's safe. I don't have to worry about it as much. But, yeah, I do have to keep an eye on the fish to make sure that they're not getting into diseases, especially after I add new plants and stuff like that. And that, my friends, is how you set up a tank. That's the basic setup of a tank. And you're going to want to make sure that you add compatible fish. Now, I have a really risky bunch of fish in there right now. So, a lot of the much smaller fish are safe to be with each other. Alright, so tetras, these little guys here with the stripe on their, going along their side. Neon tetras. You got guppies back there, guppies everywhere. Alright, there's a copper tetra. All those are good to be with each other, especially with some of these bottom feeders. Cory catfish, they're good. They're safe with almost any fish that isn't aggressive. I've also got a big bottom feeder in there somewhere. He's good. Most plecos are good, so long as you feed them properly. If you don't feed them enough, they will eat fish. They're omnivores. So, yeah. I wouldn't go with any of the bigger fish to start. Don't mix big and small fish. Not a good idea. Make sure when you buy fish that you're looking at how big they grow to, what their max size is. Or if you want, you can go out and you can buy one beta. Or if you're feeling up to the task, you can add a whole bunch of plants, make it nice and thick like I have. Make a lot of hiding places, tons of them. Get one male beta and like 6 females. You can do that with a 10-gallon tank. Alright? But nothing else. If you're going to add other stuff, you need a big tank. Alright? And I will explain to you how to deal with a community of betas later on, alright? And that, my friends, is how you set up a tank. Not as complicated as you think, huh? Well, have a great day, guys. And I'll be making another video right away.